Hey, thanks for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
Definitely, before jumping to Lorelai, I feel like I have to say this, that, Stepmom is the first movie I ever cried in. So you're forever
Oh,
synonymous with that
did you see
for
that
me.
in the theaters?
I did see it in theaters with my mother
Oh,
and my aunt.
so sweet.
Yeah,
Oh, it
so
was a really beautiful film. I want to rewatch that.
was a beautiful film. You got me in trouble by for having to ask what a certain term was multiple times, but you know,
What was it, snow blowing or something?
no blowing or whatever that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Lorelai. Absolutely beautiful film. And what drew you to the project?
I mean, I thought it was a really beautiful story of a single mother. I think not only a single mother, but it was a sort of non-biased uh, reclamation film about, what a man has to reclaim and what a woman has to reclaim in the space of preconceived bias of parenting and um, just gender roles. I feel like if Dolores was a man, and the same film took place where he left the kids with his girlfriend and went to go pursue his dreams. Uh, I mean, that film has been made 100,000 times, and so in the reverse, a woman leaving her kids to go and pursue her dreams is one that hasn't, and there's just not as much space and depth and catharsis in allowing those stories to be told and not vilifying women and making those decisions. And it doesn't always turn out perfect, but at least it's sort of, we need to give more space and breadth for the reclamation. I mean, you lose so much as a parent. You gain the world, but you also lose a lot of your identities and your passions. And I think a lot of people who have kids early on never really get a chance to define themselves as, creatures of passion, creatures of alchemy, creatures of, you know, creation. And I really liked that it was this woman who kind of gave everything up and then still had this impulse, and it didn't have to be giant. She's not going to save the world, she's not going to like go be an astronaut or like develop a vaccine. She just wanted to swim. She just wanted something for herself, and I think it was a really sweet thing. And I think it's a nice reminder, this film, where children, they need a lot, but they really just need their parents to thrive. If you can demonstrate thriving, you can kind of give them the entire world. And I think a lot of parents are just stuck demonstrating surviving,
It's a very good way to put it, and not to spoil anything, but I mean, at the ending, or in the ending, when her kids are just watching her
I
swim,
know.
there's just an appreciation there that is really touching, and I think was just such a great way to wrap up the story in terms of what the film was telling. So,
Totally.
there's an authenticity with this film that I think really makes it work, and that comes through in the acting in particular. But
Mhm.
how did you prepare to tackle a role like this? I mean, that's a very deep emotional journey for the character.
I mean, I was raised with two single moms, so I feel like I knew the world. I was, very low income. I mean, that house that we shot in, it felt like I was re-entering my childhood in some ways, like in a very cathartic, strange way. I don't know. I think that I constantly, as I entered parent space, I constantly had a voice being like, "Oh, that's bad, mom. Don't be a bad mom. Like, don't do that." And I realized how much negativity and bias you have to encounter as a parent,
Mhm.
that being able to see a very human story about very broken people trying to reclaim just like very tiny pieces of their joy, whilst also making very bold and irrational mistakes and sloppy, like, not being kind, not being compassionate, saying mean things to their children, being their worst self, but still also on the journey of like, yeah, reclaiming their joy. It felt really beautiful and really important. And I think, yeah, I just had to be a part of it. But no, I think I used definitely my childhood. I used both of my parents as models because I feel like I was just so well versed in that world that I knew it. I mean, it wasn't exactly that, but we would, we moved around a lot. We had like, I grew up with two older brothers and an older sister, and it was like, me and my two moms and me. And so it was like six people in like a 1-bedroom apartment, where it was just like, wow, like I was sleeping in the closet, and like there was just all sorts of strange, wild, beautiful things. But really, it was so beautiful. It was kind of like this amazing adventure, because they kept us feeling safe and loved despite. And
Absolutely.
so I had some pretty good women, to model the role after. And then also I was at the beginning of my journey as a mother, so I had a lot to pull from, the shame of leaving your child to go to work, and, all of these wild things that you have to learn to alchemize. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the kids in the film, and
Mhm.
3 of them were just, I think, really great in terms of the roles that they were thrown into. I mean, especially the youngest is really tackling a tough topic, I think, that we don't see
Yeah.
in film enough. And I was really thankful that there was enough courage for, the film to go there, and talk about gender roles, especially in young children. And when you're working with kids like that, do you find yourself mentoring them or, giving them pointers, because you kind of grew up in the industry in that sense?
Yeah. I mean, I'm highly mama bear on set. I mean, I don't know. Even before I became a mom, if there was ever kids on set, I would sort of push the directors aside and be like, okay, they're mine. Like
Yeah, I'll take care
I
of that.
have them. I have them now. Like, you can go away. Like, I know what they need. I'm going to help everything. I get a little, sometimes directors are like, okay, well, let me get in there too. Um, no, I love children. I mean, I just love children in general, but to be a child actor, yeah, it's a role that I was. So I kind of know like where they need the snacks, where the breaks need to be, how rehearsal needs to be processed, what words need to be done, how we can protect them, how we can shoot things to sort of capture that like innocence and not have to make them go through things multiple times, and how to language, how to build trust. I mean, all that stuff I was given an opportunity to be on the other side. So
Sure.
but they did incredible. I don't know. I think it's really hard. There was some challenging scenes there where I had to really be, be in a very like, I had to be moderately despicable, So I worked really hard with them on just gaining their trust and letting them know that they, if anything ever went too far, we can just take a break, talk about it, and
Yeah.
what their boundaries were. But Chancellor, the oldest, was incredible. He was such a thoroughbred. And then Amelia, um, she had such incredible instincts. I just kept wanting to protect her and let her be in a space to just make a bunch of different choices. And then Parker, the youngest, um, they were just constantly like giving it. Like, I was just like, get that camera back on that one. I'm like, get it over there. Like,
Right.
it was just a constant, yes. So I don't know. They didn't need much work. I mean, it's interesting how, you don't have to be, whatever. You can be a good actor regardless of whatever age, stature,
Absolutely.
form, experience,
I keep thinking back to the scene where the vase is thrown, and when you're talking about being moderately despicable, I think that
Yeah,
has such a tough back and forth, because
I know.
oh, there's some emotionally charged scenes in this film with the kids.
Yeah, it was hard. That one was a really hard one. But I mean, the thing is like, if you can approach anything honestly, like we've all been there,
Yeah.
whether it's that or in different ways, like, and children know what it's like, to like have a parent that can fail them, and then also to fail themselves, and it's okay to make those kind of mistakes as long as you can keep talking about it, and so I think it's actually a good exercise, even if you're not an actor, to like talk about those types of things with your children, even reenact them, be like, okay, you're the parent now, right? You show me what you want, or how did that feel to you? I mean, I think a lot of the reenaction stuff or embodiment stuff as a child can be really helpful, because you have less of a depth of language, and so really just like embodying, being like, this is how it makes me feel, this is how you act, and then like they act it out, is really cool. It's really cathartic.
That's great. Do you have any scene in particular that sticks out from the film that you would consider your favorite, or at least the most impactful?
I mean, the mermaid stuff for me, just because, like, I don't know, I was like, how often do you get to do that? It was really cool. And I was like, there's 2 mermaid bars in America. One is in Miami and one is in Sacramento, which, who knew? I'm like a Reno girl. So like the fact that there's like a hidden mermaid dive bar in Sacramento is just like incredible. But yeah, shooting that whole sequence was incredibly terrifying, challenging, hard, but also like really cool that I got to do it,
Yeah, that's really neat. Very, very neat. What do you hope that audiences take from the film?
I mean, I never want an audience to really take anything except for just what they get, I mean, you could watch it and just think, oh, that was good. Like, you don't have to take anything from it. I mean, I think that a lot of the beauty of film is that it works on you in a very non-linear, non-verbal way. Right. So you can watch a film and not realize how it affected you for years, and then watch it again and be like, oh my God, no wonder I didn't like that film when I saw it, because it brought up this thing and then this thing. Or amazing that was my favorite film when I was 13, and that was like what I needed to see and what I was going through. And so, yeah, so I never want anyone to take it. I don't want to have any preconceived things. Yeah.
I do like when you were talking about reclamation. I think that that's definitely a theme that is necessary to be portrayed out there, that, it's okay to struggle and it's okay to go through these journeys. And
yeah, and then men have a lot of reclaiming to do as well, in the sense of how to parent themselves, how to father their inner wound, what it is to be a father.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
so what's next after Lorelei?
Well, I did it 2.5 years ago, so what hasn't come out? There's a film, Porcupine, coming out next year, and then I did a series, the last season of Goliath, and right now I'm working on kind of a top secret horror project with Carter Smith. We collaborated on The Ruins.
Okay, very good.
So we're working on something together, and yeah, I don't know. My kiddo starts kindergarten in August, so I'm kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be fully working. I might try to get a day job or something.
Great. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time. It was definitely a beautiful film, and I mean, again, I go back to authenticity, and you just feel it with both performances, from you as well as Pablo's.
Pablo's so amazing in this. I love it.
He's so good, and I apologize for not bringing him up earlier, but
it's okay.
He's great.
We'll talk to him too.
Yeah. Oh, and the chemistry was really good too. You totally believe that these were 2 individuals who definitely had something years ago, and rekindling now 15 years.
Oh, good. I'm glad that translated.
It translated. Thank you so much. Best of luck with the rest of the day, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Cool. Thank you. Bye.